again, I want to refer to you to those videos, Adam, Eve, and the serpent, that I placed on this channel. After Adam partakes of the tree of knowledge, those gods then bar forever with cherubims and flaming swords and angels in the allegory, the tree of life. They are the only ones to forever partake of it. That is why they have placed themselves at the hierarchy of this matrix of higher cells of all souls that are created into the lower realms of this world, earth. And this was part of their plan. This was also why they are considered fallen. Because in order to convince souls to do this, you must first create them as innocent souls. And they did the same thing that was done unto them as far as how we are created. They create other souls in the same way that they were created, innocent souls, and then place them into the realms that they had created beforehand, so that they can have a knowledge of the experience of these realms with never having to do it themselves. Now, if you give yourself up to a soul within time and space that says, I am your higher self, give me your experiences now so they will be my own. Gary Zukav talks about how your higher self, you come from another, you are a fragment in this incarnation of another soul that it calls itself your higher self. It is beyond this realm. It can perceive you, but it is beyond this realm and acting for itself. And he says when your incarnation is over, you then merge with this oversoul or this higher self. And he talks about this in his book, The Seed of the Soul. If you have not read that, I suggest you do. The Seed of the Soul by Gary Zukav. And Gary Zukav will tell you, those memories, if you happen to have memories of past lives, quote unquote past lives, these are not your experiences. These are the experiences of your soul. And your soul is presented as that higher self, that other part of duality that created you within duality. And that is a lie. That is not your soul. You are your soul, and your soul began the moment that higher self created you out of time and space, out of the one self that you are. That is your soul. And when you were released from this embodiment, there is no reason why your soul should have to die and merge back into that oversoul that created you, that one who presents itself as your higher self. There's no reason for that, because you can forever act for yourself. Gary Zukav says that if you have memories of past incarnations, quote unquote, they are not your experiences, and he is right. They are not. You did not create them. But yet, when you are created, before an incarnation is begun, a soul will create another soul out of the one self. Now, that soul that creates the other soul, David, in my case, is the name of my higher self. He's not my higher self again. I'm just saying he presents himself as that. He is the soul that created me and began my incarnation and bound me, a part of the one self, to the embodiment of DNA, of the DNA embodiment. He is acting for himself right now in other realms. He is having his own experiences that he is creating. I am having my own experiences that are being created in this realm that he had me attached to. And he told me that I had to experience this in order to become like him. But he never told me that after I am done, the tree of life, of everlasting life, was forever barred from me. I would have to become one with him. Christ taught that we will all become one with the Father, a Father that exists within duality. That is how these oversouls present themselves as. You are your own soul, and you are also always within duality, connected to the higher self that flows through all things, and that is your only higher self. Now, if you merge your consciousness into that soul that created you and sent you into this incarnation, if you do that beyond this life, beyond this embodiment, you will be shifted again into the state of the one self that flows through all things, and all of your memories will be given to that other soul as its second-hand experiences. And every perception of death and suffering that happens in any realms within the self will continuously and forevermore flow into that which you are as the deathless self beyond. Everything that transpires within time and space is the experience of the one self that gives life to all within time and space. You shift your awareness to that one self, you will continue to evolve in experiences of death and suffering within duality, because this hierarchy or matrix of higher selves within the one self, this system of reincarnation, continues within the self that you are beyond and within time and space, even if you know yourself as the one. And you will continuously evolve in suffering until that which is you within time and space as all souls sees through the matrix of this lie and chooses a new paradigm. The new paradigm should be that you are a microcosm of the macrocosm and act as such. The macrocosm never ever stops evolving. That is the unified field. You within the unified field are a microcosm of that. You should never stop evolving within time and space either. If you merge yourself with another soul that exists within duality, that presents itself to you as I am your higher self, you will never be able to forever act for yourself, and you have stopped evolving. Now, that soul will then receive your experiences, and it will continue to evolve. But a part of time and space that was you at one point, that had a beginning, now has an end. And you are not in harmony with the macrocosm that should never have an end. I, as a soul right now, am incarnated in a lower realm. Now my incarnation began by another soul who created me out of the self. But I have been given everlasting life, and I do not believe the lie that I should never have to exist within time and space as a continuously evolving soul. I am going to forever act for myself. I'm not going to return. Give these experiences to the soul that created me, that never had experienced himself. And there is no reason for this to go on, because every soul within time and space forever lives and can forever act. The 72 forever live and forever act. There is no end to their experiences that they can create for their own selves within time and space. They do not need to create other souls and give them perceptions that they do not want to have firsthand as these 72. What am I going to do? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do beyond this embodiment. And I believe that everything that happens within duality is a part of who I am. And I have a right to direct the course of my own evolution. And that evolution exists on both sides of the coin. The self that I am as the one unified field from which all within duality flows is who I am beyond time and space. And the self that I am within time and space is also who I am. I am a soul that is in a state of what the Hebrews and the Kabbalic mystics call the state of Merkaba, knows itself as both the macrocosm and the microcosm. You do not have to give up one to have the other. You can know yourself as both. And I will forever know myself within time and space as both, because I will not give myself to that soul that presents itself as my higher self. And how do I want to evolve as the one self? I do not want to evolve in realms of pain and suffering anymore. And for my own self, I will use every ability that I have beyond this physical embodiment to destroy these realms of suffering that exist within the deathless self, because there's no reason they should. This paradigm that has been set up by those who are egocentric and not self-centric. Self-centric being honoring the essence that gives them life as what they are, as the one self. They were egocentric and believed that they could do to that essence that which they do not want to have firsthand as their own experiences, but nevertheless